Carlisle has now separated herself and clearly thrown Henyard under the bus, revealing the full scale of the deceit she alleges to have observed while working alongside Tiffany Henyard.
Tonight at a Board of Trustees meeting in Thornton Township, the board and citizens looking for accountability to their finances, while the township supervisor...
I am a wife. I'm a mother of 3 children. My children and my family are suffering because of this loss. And Dalton police, the detectives, have been sitting around twiddling their fingers on this case.
You out of order, Clerky. Like, stop. Y'all out of order. Everybody want to run stuff. Y'all don't run this house over here. Stop.
Things with Tiffany Henyard have taken a turn for the worse. Rumor has it she might actually end up behind bars after the FBI uncovered a massive amount of evidence showing she's been using taxpayer dollars to fund her extravagant lifestyle. On top of that, a whistleblower from her own team has come forward, calling her a thief and revealing how she managed to embezzle all that money without anyone noticing. This comes after Tiffany was caught stealing funds from the village of Dolson for personal gain and accumulating millions in credit card debt. We've seen corrupt mayors before, but this one might be among the worst in history. The people of Dolton are determined to make sure she pays for what she's done and sets an example. Tiffany and her team initially tried to downplay the scandal by hiring journalists to label it as fake news, but former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, who's overseeing the investigation, wasn't having any of it. She stepped forward to set the record straight, confirming the allegations were real, and that Tiffany was living like a superstar while sinking deeper into debt, all while the people of Dolton continued to struggle. Lightfoot said, "If you hear it's fake news, it's not, it's real. The receipts for credit card purchases are right here."
I'm a mother of 3 children. My children and my family are suffering because of this loss. And Dalton police, the detectives, have been sitting around twiddling their fingers on this case. This is hurtful. When I've been in contact, I've been asking questions. I've been in contact with the state's attorney's office. I'm pushing this case. I've had the Crime Stoppers come out to do additional work canvassing the neighborhood, to assist the police.
To give you some context before we dive into the messy details of this story, it all began back in March when the village leaders and trustees of Dolton called a meeting to investigate their mayor, Tiffany Henyard, and her misuse of public funds. During one of these meetings, Trustee Norwood revealed that they had requested financial records from Tiffany, but she refused to provide them. That's when they decided to take it further, bringing in former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot to investigate the situation. Norwood stated, "The last time we received a bank statement was in September of last year, and we were $7 million in debt at that time. So right now, we're asking, where are the bank statements? We need to know where we stand. It's a problem when we can't see where our tax dollars are going, especially with all this fine dining and travel, and we're left wondering, why are we going to these places? What's going on here?" Things got even murkier when Tiffany was hit with multiple lawsuits from former employees who claimed she fired them without cause. One of them even went so far as to accuse a trustee who worked closely with Tiffany of sexual assault. The victim said she confided in Tiffany about the assault, but Tiffany allegedly told her to stay quiet and not tell anyone because it could ruin all the progress she had made. What's even crazier is that before this investigation reached its current scale, many had already noticed Tiffany's shady behavior and tried to look into it. However, Tiffany used her power to shut them down, preventing anyone from uncovering evidence against her.
Morning, something strange happened.
This was your office.
Yes.
What happened when you tried to open it?
It doesn't work.
Not only had Elston been locked out of her own office, but boxes of sensitive documents that she kept in her office were spread around the common area.
This was under lock and key before.
This was under lock and key.
And now it's just out in the open?
Now it's just out in the open. So it has taxpayer's name, address.
So who did this to you?
Well, I imagine this new supervisor, Tiffany Henyard.
Brian and Natalie, it is very clear that the trustees in Thornton Township have trust issues, refusing to second a motion by Tiffany Henyard to get...
The woman was living like a Hollywood star, using taxpayer money as if it were her personal ATM, all while offering nothing in return to the community. She entered with one clear objective: to steal and destroy.
Put some safeguards in place to regulate what's spent on the credit card.
I do not want a credit card. I do not deal with money.
Earlier this month, former Mayor Lori Lightfoot revealed the village of Dalton, where Henyard also serves as the mayor, racked up hundreds of thousands of dollars in credit card purchases after Henyard's critics walked.
Corruption within Tiffany's administration escalated to such an extent that people were calling for her and other officials to step down. But of course she refused and kept stealing. What's even worse is that despite all the evidence that's come to light and her blatant corruption over the years, Tiffany is still trying to paint herself as the victim. She's even attacking the media for focusing on the negative aspects of her time in office instead of highlighting the so-called positives. "You really can't make this up," she said. "It's good to see the media out here, but I wish you guys would come for the positive things, not the chaos, not the media show, because that's all that's here. I get it, we're clickbait, we're hot right now, and I get it. This is what sells papers. But I wish you guys would have come to our Easter event we had on Sunday. We had over 500 kids out there happy, running around, giving away baskets. It was amazing." But baby, the FBI isn't interested in the fake positivity she's trying to push. They're on her case, digging into everything she's been doing, including her restaurant and allegations of scamming people. Apparently, she's been collecting donations for her so-called foundation, only to use that money for her own personal benefit. Turns out Tiffany's charity foundation isn't even registered with the Attorney General's office, and they sent her a cease and desist order to stop collecting funds. But of course she ignored them and kept bringing in thousands of dollars in the name of charity. According to the New York Post, Tiffany was hit with 2 subpoenas. The first one had the feds looking for personnel files, wage and tax documents, time and attendance records, contracts and checks written to cash from Henyard's multiple ventures, her restaurant property management company, political action committee, and charity. The second subpoena requested financial documents from the township, including budgets, payroll records, ordinances covering credit card purchases, expense reports, reimbursements, security details, and vehicle use. And baby, they uncovered a lot of incriminating evidence. In the investigation led by Lori Lightfoot, they found that Tiffany spent over $43,000 and on Amazon in just one day, over $7,000 and on Wayfair, and $2,200 and at Best Buy. It was also revealed that she spent nearly $3,000 and on trips alone last year. But unfortunately, it gets worse. The investigation also uncovered that the village of Dalton owes over $6 million to vendors, while having a $3.06 million spending deficit. Turns out, Tiffany used the funds to pay 2 police officers overtime, increasing spending on the police department from $7.07 million in 2022 to a staggering $9.02 million in 2024. Child, I'm not exaggerating when I say Tiffany was living like the President of the United States, who spends over $43,000 and on Amazon in one day and $9.02 million on security for a small town like Dalton. Not even the mayors of major cities are spending this much. But Tiffany wants us to believe she genuinely needs to blow all this money to get things done. You can't make this up. Fortunately for everyone, the wall that's been protecting Tiffany for so long and keeping her out of jail is crumbling, starting to crumble. Someone from her team, named Carmen Carlisle, just betrayed her and spilled the tea about how Tiffany has been able to embezzle all this money for after so long without facing consequences. Carmen finally broke her silence in a statement to WGN, saying, "Today I'm speaking out against Thornton Township Supervisor and Mayor of Dalton, Tiffany Henyard, who I believe has engaged in unethical and predatory behavior throughout her time in office. For the past 2 years, Henyard has manipulated employees, vendors, and residents, using her position to expand her influence while projecting a false image of success funded by the hard-working taxpayers of Thornton Township and Dalton. I'm standing up not only for myself, but for others who have been affected by what I see as Henyard's leadership." Carlisle added, "I believe there are many more victims who have been retaliated against, fired, or lied to by Henyard, but have yet to speak out. And there's more," Carlisle claims that Tiffany manipulated her for years, even pressuring her to falsely state that the mayor had no involvement in establishing the controversial Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation. Carlisle also alleged that when she refused to comply, it led her to expose Henyard's actions in a powerful move. Now, Carlisle has distanced herself from Henyard, effectively throwing her under the bus, under the semi and the train, revealing the full extent of the deception she witnessed while working under Tiffany Henyard. As we can see, Tiffany's own team is starting to crack, and it looks like Tiffany is beginning to panic. She responded to Carmen's claims, and she wasn't kind about it. She called Carmen some harsh names and accused her of lying to save herself, saying, "I think I'm going to give you a new nickname, Lion Carlisle. I'm tired of everyone in here. There always has to be a show at the end of the day. You were on board. We never talked about this, right? So you should have been putting the same energy in play when you weren't saying a word a year ago." With things escalating quickly, it won't be long before the police come knocking at Tiffany's door, ready to put her in handcuffs. Her own team is already turning on her, and yet she's out here talking crazy, trying to gaslight them into silence about her corrupt actions. As expected, people have strong opinions about this. One person said, they need to freeze Tiffany's accounts and Overtime Cop's accounts until this is all sorted out so they can't hide all the stolen money. Another said, she needs to be removed from office by force and arrested. But now I want to hear your thoughts. What do you all think about Tiffany being investigated? Do you think her team members and trustees will follow Carlisle's lead and expose her? You know what to do. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other very messy video.